Sawadee-kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. Today is our group learning program, and I'm going to be guiding students in a loving kindness meditation. If you're interested in transforming your mind away from anger, hatred, ill will, and all those lesser versions like frustration, irritation, annoyance, even the slightest dislike towards others, loving kindness meditation is perfect for you. If you have negative self-talk in your mind where you're degrading and diminishing yourself, this is a perfect meditation for you. So welcome to our class today, whether you're joining for the first time or you're joining regularly. If you'd like to join for this meditation, I'm going to be easing us into the meditation with some chanting. We're going to do some breathing mindfulness meditation with guidance. Then there'll be a brief period where we're actually meditating, doing breathing mindfulness meditation. I'm going to then come back in with guidance for loving kindness meditation. Then we're going to come out of that with some more breathing mindfulness meditation and some chanting. So if you'd like to join along, you might pull up a cushion for a seated position, or maybe you're sitting in a chair or on a sofa or something like this. You could also use lying or standing for this as well. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava โอตังมหาควันหังอภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตมหาควัตตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารนังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสานามาสติสัตตาตวามนุสนังโหโตภาควาติ Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, in the upper body erect, just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath. A nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, fixate the mind on the breath. And whenever you notice that the mind moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Then I'll be back with more guidance on loving kindness meditation. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these affirmations in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May mom and dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May my family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who have harmed me be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering that it causes. Now return back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanhang Abhivateyami Savakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhamma สามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารนังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสตาตาวามานุสรังโอโตภาควาติ Okay, if you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation, what I'm going to do here is just open up to any and all questions that you guys might have related to the path to enlightenment. If you would like to ask questions, you can put that into Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom in the comment section. I'll be able to see that and answer your question. And if you're in Zoom, you can electronically raise your hand and ask any and all questions that you like. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay, it looks like Ted has questions. See, go ahead, sir.
Evening, David. I said it right this time, not morning. I have a question in regards to there's times when I'm laying in bed and awake, and I try to incorporate a meditation, but I fall into and I'm pretty sure there's no should or shouldn'ts, but when I say, may all beings be peaceful, and then in the next breath, may all beings be safe, as opposed to giving it space in between, like a breath or two in between, which I find we do here. Is there a preference? Is there some guidance that you can give me on that?
If you slow down and do the breath in between like I do, it will help you to really put your intention into it, and then like put a period at the end of that, statement, so to speak, and just really let it soak in. And what the Buddha teaches on this is he teaches to envelop the mind with loving kindness. And the way that I envision that is like, really like a syrup or a cloth, really enveloping the mind and really taking your time with that and drawing up that loving kindness so that it really permeates in the mind. So you really need some time with that. So if you can take the time to do that, that'd be great.
Which is funny because that's exactly how I felt today. I felt that being very more involved in it, as opposed to just a choppy checklist almost. So yeah, there's a lot to be said there. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Pleased to help you. Okay, it looks like Leo has some questions too. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, David. Hello, Ted. Yeah, I have just a question about what do you think about going for a walk versus staying in the whole day in the room or in the house? I, for example, have no problem in staying in my room for the whole day, doing stuff there, and sometimes I even do that. So I don't see any negative effects here. But then some people ask me, hey, why you're not going for a walk? It's healthy and so on. Would you recommend going out for a walk, maybe for the fresh air or other benefits? Or is it just, is it really not important?
Yeah, you can. This is something that you need to decide on a case-by-case basis. It sounds like other people might be attached or craving for you to do things a certain way. So in that respect, staying in your room every once in a while will help them to eliminate their craving for you to go out and do things. But you need to decide for yourself. You're not going to go out for a walk every single day, and you're not going to stay in your room every single day. So you need to live a balanced lifestyle. If you're very comfortable staying in your room, okay, you've got that comfort there because you can stay in your room alone. You also need to build the comfort to be able to go outside too. But when or if you do that is up to you. One of the things that you're going to notice as the mind is becoming more and more peaceful, more and more joyful, and you're seeing so much suffering in the world, and I don't use that word very often, but you'll see so much suffering in the world. The mind does have a tendency to kind of retreat on itself and kind of has a tendency to be somewhat isolated. It can swing to that side, not always, but it can swing to that side. So you need to be observant of that. If you're staying in your room for multiple days at a time alone, that's something you would like to address where you can be more balanced. But if you're just staying in your room, here and there, all alone, that's fine. You don't have to go out every single day and go for a walk, but just be sure you're not isolating yourself and that you do get out and you're practicing the teachings, because you're going to need to practice among other people. So when you're walking down the street in your neighborhood and you see other people, you can wave and say, hello, ma'am, how are you? Or hello, sir, how are you? Or, hey, nice to see you. How are things going today? This is like part of your practice, practicing being loving and kind, having right intention, right speech, right action. This is really helpful for the mind, that you're not just meditating alone in your room, hour upon hour, day upon day. That's not what you would be interested in. So you do need to get outside, but how much or how little of that you do, that's a decision for you to make. And just be sure that you have some balance there.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Then just for clarification for me, you sometimes said that enlightened beings still have occasional have thoughts sometimes, but they right away cut them off and let them go. Is it the same with bodily sensations? I guess that it's not, because I think the root is destroyed. So there might be no bodily sensations come up. Or is that enlightened beings still have bodily sensations, but they right away cut them off and let them go?
So in meditation, an enlightened being will still have occasional thoughts, but they notice them right away, cut them off and let them go. And then there's these long periods of time where the mind's quieted and stilled. But in terms of the bodily sensations associated with discontentedness, that a craving, desire, attachment is being triggered, and now there's that preliminary warning system of the bodily sensation arising during daily life, or it could happen in meditation. An enlightened being doesn't experience any of that, because there is no arising of craving, desire, attachment, or discontentedness. So they've eliminated all of that. The mind is still and quieted and peaceful in meditation and outside of meditation, but they still experience bodily sensations like an itch, or if they're standing too close to a fire, they're going to feel that heat and those kinds of things. But they're not going to experience the bodily sensations that we talk about as part of right mindfulness, the 4 foundations of mindfulness. All of that stuff has been destroyed and eliminated. So there are no more arising of bodily sensations. There's no more conditioned feelings. There's no more condition of the mind related to unwholesome qualities, and there's no more mental objects associated with unwholesome qualities either. That's all been purified from the mind.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And just the last question. What I sometimes realize that, of course, I like to have it comfortable. For example, my bathroom. I have a small bathroom in my room. This one is quite cold because I didn't put on the heater. So if I go there taking a shower and stuff like that, I would prefer to make the heater on. But on the other hand, I think I like to have it comfortable. So maybe I should don't put the heater on. Just it's just a bit cold. It's nothing harmful. And what do you think about these kind of things? Also, when I for example, also in the morning, or when it's also fresh in my room, I like to be in the bed, stay longer in the bed because it's more warm. But I think it's also a great thing for comfortableness. But I also remember that when I was in Thailand, I once was in your house, and it was raining before, and it was a bit wet, and I asked you somehow, is it maybe good to train my mind with clothes on my body, wet clothes? And I think you said something like, well, why you should do this? If you like it warm, if you like it without wet clothes, change your clothes. Mm-hmm. But now my question, I like to have it comfortable, but is it good sometimes to put my mind in the situation, as example with the wet clothes, because it's not harmful if I don't get sick, so it's just uncomfortable. I don't like it. But, what do you think about that?
Yeah, if you're
These kinds of things.
Yeah, if you're noticing that the mind doesn't like it and it's uncomfortable, definitely expose the mind to it, because that's a craving, desire, attachment. And you would like to introduce this impermanence into the mind, where you can turn the heater on in the bathroom, for example, 1 or 2 days, and then you can turn it off and not use it for 1 or 2 or 3 days, and then turn it on for 1 or 2 days and use it for 1 or 2 days. You'd like to do this kind of in and out like this, so that the mind can get used to this impermanent nature of the world. And sometimes you may or may not know whether your mind is attached to something. If you see discontentedness, you know for a fact that your mind is attached and having craving. But if you're not sure, like maybe with the bathroom, that's where you would like to test the mind and make sure that the mind is not attached. So for example, I used to sleep with the fan on sometimes here in my house. And there's that little sound when you're sleeping with the fan, like a little bit of white noise. And I used to sleep like that for quite a while, but just to be sure my mind wasn't attached to it, I would turn it off for several nights and make sure that the mind could still fall asleep and wasn't discontent without that particular sound. So you would like to test all these kinds of things in order to make sure that the mind isn't attached and there isn't a craving. And if there is a craving, you'll see the discontentedness, but continuous exposure to these situations, you'll be able to eliminate your cravings and get to the point where the mind can be comfortable no matter what these situations are.
Okay. So important is that I don't harm myself and others. Mm-hmm. And if it's cold, I think it's not a big deal, right? So in this case.
Yeah, the only thing that cold could do is you could experience hypothermia. We talked about this when you're here, that it's not the cold weather that produces a virus or bacteria or a cold, like a sickness in the body. It's a virus or bacteria that produces the sickness in the body. So I'm sure you're not going to get hypothermia in your house without using a heater. So you could easily expose the body to that, which essentially is training the mind that, hey, this heater is impermanent. And even one of the things I did here in Thailand is, because we use air conditioning when we're sleeping and stuff like that, there were times where I slept without the air conditioning just to make sure that the mind wasn't attached to that. And I would sleep and do the things I need to do without air conditioning. And this was really helpful because I was able to ensure that the mind wasn't attached to it. And then several months ago, when I went to Mexico, I was gone for 3 weeks. out of the 3 weeks, there was only 2 days that I was actually in air conditioning because the places I was at didn't have air conditioning. So it was no big deal. When I saw like, oh, there's no air conditioning. Okay, no big deal, right? The mind wasn't discontent. It wasn't frustrated. I was able to easily go to sleep because my mind wasn't attached to air conditioning. So you would like to make sure you're testing all these kinds of things.
Okay, perfect. What is about if I make a meditation? I can imagine that if it's cold and I try to meditate, that it's difficult to concentrate on the breath. But yeah, I think I should also learn to meditate when it's cold, right? But just curious if my progress will fall back if I do that for time.
No, if you're exposing the mind to different variables, environmental variables like different sounds, different lighting, different temperature, different locations while you're actually meditating, this will actually help you to train the mind to not crave permanence during your meditation. And this will ensure that the mind doesn't have any craving. So you'd like to move around into different locations to meditate and change all those different variables like lighting, sounds, temperature, and things like that. Even like different cushions and different, sometimes with a cushion, sometimes without it, change all these different things multiple times to ensure that there's no craving anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for your guidance.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I'm going to check to make sure we don't have anything anywhere else. I'm not seeing any questions anywhere else. So I'll just end by thanking all of you guys for joining, whether you're attending live or you're listening to this on the replay. Thank you for your interest in learning and practicing these teachings. If you'd like to learn some more, this Sunday in the group learning program, I'm going to be in chapter 12, which is titled Craving is the Problem. What is the Solution? This is a chapter that goes together with chapter 13, where I'm going to introduce you to a new technique of how to almost surgically go in and eliminate your cravings, desires, attachments. I'm going to be teaching that in chapter 13. So chapter 12 is kind of helping you to refresh your memory about what's causing all the problems within the unenlightened mind. And then, of course, we have our Polycanon and English study group that meets on Saturdays, so you're always welcome to attend that. So whatever you do today, have a very wonderful and lovely rest of your day. Perhaps we'll see you guys in a future class. Be well and take care. Sawadee Kap.
Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.